Hello, welcome to Vanka Pesalam. Today, my guest, the famous movie reviewer, Mr. Manigandan Bala. Hello, Anna.
Hey Sridhar, why give such an introduction?
I
Don't
know, right?
bring expectation.
The famous Facebook reviewer, movie reviewer. So,
Already enough hyper on the
enough
movie.
hype.
Don't create one more on.
That's good. So
How are you,
today,
Sridhar?
like we're going to be talking about Dhurandhar Part Two. So both of us watched the movie. So tell me your like initial thoughts after seeing the movie.
First cut. Okay, I'm going to be slightly different from the general public reaction.
Yeah.
To me, Dhurandhar 2 or Dhurandhar the Revenge was better than Dhurandhar 1
Okay.
because my take on Dhurandhar 1 was like it had nothing to do with India, Pakistan, or whatever masala. It's more to do with the local Lahari gang war.
Yeah.
So I, in fact, termed it as wars or gang fight of Pakipur
Okay.
than Pakistan Pur than anything to do with us. And our great guy was just a spectator there. I'm talking of Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
Through the movie, he was probably taking notes to
Yes.
come back and feed the director of what the story should look like. He didn't do anything in first part. Yeah. Compared to that, second part was a revealing action thriller, right? So to that extent, I liked the second part much better. Ranveer was through and through the single guy who took the movie along. On top of it, a lot of actions as well. So first cut, clearly to me, during the revenge was slightly better than one. It's got a lot of positives. Majority of it on the technical side.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning that if somebody has to see this movie, you got to see it in the big screen
Yes. 100%.
for all the technicalities, for all the magnum opus, for all the big stuff which they have brought in, including the photography, the cinematography, the music, whatnot.
Action.
On the
Everything. Yeah.
technology side, it's brilliant. And of course, there are a couple of positives in addition to what I just now mentioned. At the same time, yeah, there are certain
Critic.
things which was a drag. Yeah, so we'll touch upon that as we go by.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, um, I mean, if I have to fast forward as an executive summary, one can watch it at least once, but on the big screen for sure, because I know many are waiting to see it on OTT. Not a great idea.
Yeah. I think people like my wife who saw an OTT, her reasoning was she cannot sit for 4 hours in a theater, right? So part one also like she watched it for 4 days. She for half past half past like this because she said I cannot finish in one day. It's too much, you know. So but like, yeah, but I do agree with you. The reason I like part two was because the hype was met, right? Whatever the hype it had, I think like he fully covered everything. He took his time, explained every plot, every character, every scene. So it's almost like a web series, like made to a movie, right? He had a lot of time to explain everything. And like you said, Ranveer was awesome in the second part. I think he's in almost every frame, right? I think almost in every frame,
Absolutely.
almost every frame. That's a great. I mean, it's an amazing performance from him. So that was there. So I know it's a very small thing for me, but the one thing I really liked about the movie, of course, like we're gonna spoil about everything, was that interval block, right? The interval block is an amazing piece, and the movie starts from where they left off on the second half. I really like that. It's a very small thing, but so many other times you see that almost in all the Tamil movies or whatever movies, there is huge interval block, and the second half they start from some other place or some flashback or something, and then they like kind of like screw up the momentum. Here they start at the exact same place, the exact same dialogue, and then it starts from there. It's amazing though. How did you feel
No,
about interval block?
I agree. I think the way the whole first half led to the interval block, the way it was built up, the way the anticipation was built around it. In fact, people were wondering what's happening, why, and in fact, there were some sarcastic comments as well. Without letting out the spoiler, clearly some people felt the way it was handled was not necessarily right till they really found out what was in store just before the interval. And as you rightly mentioned, right after the interval block, it just started off from where it left in the first half. And yeah, you're right. There was no deviation. There's no gimmick around it. Just continuation of that specific moment really worked well. I think overall the sequencing, not just the interval block alone, if you really take it from the start when we were kind of transported to the earlier life of this person, and then
Yeah, yeah,
slowly getting him into the role which we were used to from the part one,
yes.
and then the sequencing. Overall, that way, it did really work well.
Right, right, right.
Movie without, I mean, everybody knows this now, so we can mention that 3 hours, 50 minutes, too long, but still, I should admit, we never felt
Felt bored. Yeah, but never felt bored. Yeah.
bored, or we never felt like, oh my God, what's happening types, It does keep you engaged. Though, I mean, I should accept tad too long, and there was a huge scope for reducing the time. Many, many scenes were just on and on and on. So that is probably the reason the drag came in. But still, it did keep the entire audience engaged, and
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
that's the great part of this super long movie. In
Super.
fact, we were
Yeah.
demanding two intervals, to be frank.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I mean, I couldn't stay after the end. At the moment, like he goes back to the village, and then they cut the shot with him. I just walked. I just got up, and then the credits were rolling. I said, I'm not going to sit. I really can. I have to get out of this theater. It was too much after that. But then apparently, I heard like there was a scene after at the very end after the credits, which I saw online finally. But yeah,
Sorry, this could be a spoiler. I know there's a huge hype around that scene. I know the director himself tweeted saying, "Don't get up and go. Watch till the end." To me, not worth. To be
okay.
frank, of course,
The
now
last
it is
scene
circulating.
was that the Pakistani guy like scolding the guy. That's it, right? Okay.
Yes, that's it. I mean, it's all over the social media now. You
Yeah, yeah,
watch
yeah.
it and
I
you
saw that. Yeah.
realize, I think so. What this movie also brought, and this is probably the crux of this whole Dhurandhar and Dhurandhar Part One and Two, more so in two, is the polarization. Okay, and now I know we are not talking of the movie, but outside the
Yeah, outside,
movie,
outside. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
more than the movie, the polarization, and this particular uh, thing which you are mentioning is also part of it. The supporters are all over the social media promoting that stuff, and the detractors, if I can use the word detractors, oh, absolutely nothing. It's just nonsense to them. And I'm somewhere in between, and I don't feel anything great with that specific scene. But then I've said that the marketing hype through the movie and subsequent to that, the both pro and cons being discussed in terms of polarization, in terms of how the movie is a big propaganda, in terms of how this whole thing has been kind of, I would say, projected. Clear polarization. There's a section of people who say this is crap. There's a section of people who says, "Wow, everything is getting exposed." Now we know why the demonetization took place.
So
To
okay, okay.
me,
Stop right there. So like, do you believe like that is why the thing happened, the demonetization happened? Do you actually believe
uh,
that?
my take, Sridhar, is clearly this is political fiction.
Okay,
Okay,
fiction. Okay,
so it's in a way kind of beautifully anchored. He's brought in some real footage to support the kind of story, but nothing adds up. I mean, this is a movie. End of the day, he's not told you it is a documentary, so I don't blame him.
yeah.
I don't want to go down the direction of saying this is real or imaginary. It is supposed to be a fiction, and it is a fiction. If you really get into the details, you would realize nothing matches. The dates don't match. For example, the spy which we are referring to spent almost 7, 8 years or something like that there, and the whole sequence of events happened over that. Whereas in the movie, it talks about hardly some 6 months, 8 months, or maximum 1 year. All the major events, like whether it is the 2611, whether it is a demonetization, whether it is a UPL, everything has been squeezed into the time frame
Time frame.
um, beautifully, because people who want to believe it
Yeah, exactly.
only believe.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. It's
To your
amazingly.
question,
Yeah.
demonetization.
Yes.
Well, let's put it this way. I mean, there have been a lot of stories around demonetization. I don't want to be politically inclined towards this story or that story. What he intelligently merges is both the Pakistan issue and the Uttar Pradesh election issue.
Election
Correct?
issue, both, yes.
We all know the UP elections were dictating things that point of time. We don't know the Pakistan stuff.
Yeah,
It's coming out now, and everybody claims, oh, now we know why it happened. I think it is another part of beautifully tailored fiction.
yeah.
But then so be it. I mean, he never told you, as I
Yeah,
mentioned,
yeah. I
it's
mean,
not
that's
real.
what, like, you won't believe. I was watching the movie here, and like, people were clapping when this happened. And one guy was shouting in the theater, Bharat Mata ki jai. I'm like, what is happening here? I don't, so
No,
people, yeah,
I'm sure it happens in every theater, possibly, because on one end is this emotional, sentimental stuff against Pakistan. On the other end, the difficulties which people faced during those days of
yes,
demonetization and whatnot, and wondering what the hell is happening. And now, I mean, this story, I'm using the word story, puts both these two together to tell the people what happened is to your benefit, which kind
yes.
of elated people momentarily, if not
Moment,
fully.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, momentarily, and not just that scene, quite a few scenes momentarily elated people because of the patriotic
Patriotic, yeah.
this one. But then later, when they walk out of the theater, they would have realized, come on, something is not adding up. But it's okay. I mean, it's a movie. There's quite a lot of stuff like that which doesn't add up. At one point, and I think there are some memes on that. There are more number of Indian spies in Pakistan than the Pakistanis themselves. Yeah, I mean that's how the whole scene turns up. There are some scenes where, apart from our main guy protagonist, we also have the shooter, we have the
The
other spy. I
shooter,
don't want to reveal too much, but
yeah,
fully
the
loaded there. I mean, if you really look at the Pakistani main character, they are lower in number than
yeah.
the so-called
Yeah,
raw
Ranveer
agents.
Singh, the soda guy, Ranveer Singh's bodyguard, the father, again, father-in-law, everybody, almost everybody is a spy over
Everybody, and then
there.
those two guys going around shooting everybody. Those are
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Everybody is practically. I mean, what is happening? I mean, and there are some talks about this also. The camera, the everything is picturized, every minute detail in the movie,
yeah,
including eyelashes, reactions. But then they miss the basic script in terms of all these. Are people not able to identify these small stuff? Is it that difficult and whatnot? So again, we can continue arguing both ways. But then there are quite a lot of these stuff which give you the momentary high, but doesn't necessarily add up
yeah, yeah.
later part. Yeah, I mean that's the truth.
Yeah,
And the
so,
biggest difference between during the one and two, which to me is a big letdown. Yeah, I agree. Ranveer has done a phenomenal job, scene to scene. He's like taken the movie, but there's no one
no,
who
exactly.
can be called villain. There's nobody who can stand up. The first part at least had
Actually, okay.
Akshay Khanna for some time, and he stole the show. Second part practically had nobody. Arjun Rampal is there, but it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
We
necessarily
already know
standing.
about him. We already know about him. We already know what he's going to do. I mean, so that character was a kind of very interesting character, though. His father is a very abusive guy and all those things. That's a whole different line of story that's going on. That was interesting character. So what did you think about that Dawood Ibrahim reveal in that movie?
Uh,
That was kind of people are actually whoa. People are shocked when they showed him like that. They're like whoa, you know what I'm saying?
Again, a momentary stuff when Ranveer walks in and Dawood Ibrahim's room is revealed, and
The
right there is
picture,
a
yeah,
portrait of Dawood Ibrahim to remind us who that guy is. Um, they should have followed that up with some strong script for him.
yeah,
They should have they should have actually brought the so-called demon in him or whatever, post that scene, he was just struggling for survival. To be frank,
yes, I know.
nothing much came out from that particular character. So for all the hype built towards that role, and the momentary reveal, did create some sensation. It just fell flat. It was practically a non-event, to be frank.
Yeah,
So
I
is that.
thought I thought that the way they're going to reveal him, which is some like some mansion in like Dubai where he's sitting and smoking and all those kind of things. But when I saw him in the, like in the hospital bed, I'm like what? That was kind of interesting to see. Even like
I know
yeah, that was
it just
interesting.
went first, but then yeah, I think it was another marketing gimmick which the hype created, but really didn't have a meaty script to back it up.
Yeah,
That's probably it. Yeah,
yeah. So
and that particular scene also made Arjun Rampal look weak from then on.
yeah,
We suddenly got confused. If you really go through the
who's number
narrative,
one? Who's number one and
yeah,
everything? Yeah,
who is the number one? What are we supposed to expect? Where is the final fight? I mean, being a
I mean,
Bollywood movie,
obviously,
you would
I don't think like he can fight Dawood Ibrahim. So only left is Arjun Rapal. So he has to fight him, right? So
yeah,
that was the one thing.
ultimately it boiled down to a drag. Arjun Rampal delivers 10 minutes lecture, and Ranveer just goes into an action mode. So again, the character, I mean, the movie's main protagonist, which is Ranveer, did a phenomenal job in uh, part two. Part one, he was mute, but part one was taken over by a
Akshay
couple of
Khanna,
villains there.
Akshay Khanna,
Part
yeah,
two, this guy took over, but then we had practically nobody. I mean, every 15th minute there was a new guy jumping in as a villain, was being shot in 2 3 minutes, and then the next story began. So pretty much a little bit confused on that to the end. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
practically everybody in Pakistan turned out to be a villain to be shot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the other scene like people really enjoyed like in the theater is the Madhavan scene, like where he's on like on a video call with the guy. People are, oh my God, people are clapping in, oh, that was an amazing scene too. I mean, fiction or not, the payoff was really good actually. The
I
show him
think
back.
there are a lot more reasons to it. In case of Madan, I do like him. In fact, my
He was
review was clearly saying he could have given a little more footage to Madhavan. Few reasons. One is Madhavan himself is a sweetheart.
yeah,
India loves. I mean, Bollywood watchers love him, and they want to see more of him. And second is his makeup and the way
amazing.
the whole thing was created in the first part as well. First part was also a hit. And the third thing is the actual character, Ajit Doval, is also very well known.
Very
He's
well.
kind of adored in this country for what he's been doing, very high respect for his service and whatnot. So that also kind of added up. Plus, the script writer did a phenomenal job on the dialogues.
Yeah.
Just getting things up first. He starts with Salam Alaikum, ends the discussion with Namaste.
Namaskar.
So it's kind of all those nuances taken care of. Yes, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Madhavan was a cream.
Madhavan, Madhavan. So, like you said, it's a Ranveer show. The other characters like could have played a role. Like Sarah Arjun did not have much thing to do. The father-in-law did not have much to do. Of course, I mean, amazing reveal at the end, which I still cannot believe that happened. But so what do you think about the reveal at the very end, though, about the father-in-law?
To be frank, again, for that second, I kind of laughed and the whole theater went claps and whatnot, liked it. But then, no, if I'm the director, I wouldn't have done it. I mean, that was a cheap film gimmick, if I can put it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, leave it at that. We all, in a way, kind of accumulated a little bit of hatred towards him as well through the movie, through the two parts. Yeah. And suddenly saying, oh, he's been working there for 45 years and he's also a raw agent, just pulls the whole
pulls the whole
narrative
thing.
down. Not
So,
just about the revealing part.
yeah, revealing. Yeah,
If you start thinking again, oh, so this guy was loitering around for 45 years without nobody even noticing, and he climbs up the ladder. Is it as simple? I mean, are we dealing with humans or what? So I think he would have done better not doing that cheap gimmick. But then, yeah, again, momentarily, people kind of went over, and then Ranveer Singh came out with the statement saying, if the movie does 1,000 crores, 500 crores is because of Rakesh Bedi. Rakesh Bedi really did not have too many scenes
in this movie, in
to,
this part.
yeah, apart from the last one. So to me, it is mixed. I did enjoy it for a minute because I didn't expect. I went for the first show and I had absolutely no clue. So I did enjoy that moment. But then, yeah, very short-lived,
Shortly.
to be frank.
No, I mean, I was thinking because like, whenever like Madhavan is saying that you have to drop him off at this place, particular place after 1 hour or whatever, I was thinking who's going to come and pick him up? right? It's like Madhavan is going to come. Who's going to come? I was wondering who's going to come and pick him up from that place. Then so like, that was kind of a shocking actually. So, what are they saying that Rakesh PD knew from day one that Ranveer Singh is a spy? Is what they're saying from day
Well,
one?
ultimately, if I have to start connecting the dots, Rakesh Bedi obviously knew, I mean, should have known.
Should have
Knew is
known.
different. Should have known who this guy is, what his mission is, what is his whereabouts. And now you can see on the social media some screens circulating that even in the first part, when the first time he met Sarah Arjun,
Oh yeah, the four. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes.
Rakesh Bedi throws the
I
phone
saw
and
that.
looks
I
at
saw that.
Tanveer. We
I
can
don't know.
connect the
Yeah,
dots in
that
a way.
maybe
Yeah, but then well, again, as I said, for us to comprehend that this guy was there for 45 years without absolutely any clue, well, for a common man like me, it is difficult to digest. Maybe it is still possible. I do not
still
know, but
possible. Yeah.
it
No,
doesn't add
because
up.
like even in the US, like there has been a lot of spies here. Even in the US, I don't know if you know, but like 15 years ago, they arrested a couple like in Washington, Russian couple posing as Americans living in the US for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
20 years and like a typical American suburban life, family, kids, and for 20 years they were spies in the US, you know, and then
Yeah,
they
I mean,
arrest. Yeah, so it's
I know
maybe
it's difficult. 20 years is too long, but I
yeah,
know there are a lot of spies living as normal people.
yeah,
But a spy for 45 years, rising up the ranks, is one of the prominent political leaders in Pakistan. A little hard to digest,
little
to
hard
be
to
frank.
digest.
It's not that straightforward. And if that is a possibility, I really fear. I have no idea how many such spies are existing in India
That is
today.
what I want to ask you. I want a I want a movie like made by Pakistan called Barandar, where it shows the Pakistani spy in India. How many of them are there, right?
Yeah,
That's really really interesting to know who's
I
doing.
think it's more, again, one more fiction there. But then, yeah, why not? We are playing around with the emotional quotient of the movie goers. So it's okay. I mean, if I look at it from a movie perspective, surely movie making standpoint, I think it makes a lot of
A
sense.
lot of
Okay,
sense.
it's a
Yeah.
fiction. It's not a documentary of events in chronological order. But if I have to stand this side and say, oh, he's made a film to clarify all this and sequence of events, a lot of fact in it. No, I'm sorry, it is not adding up. That's so technically, movie is brilliant, but not necessarily as
I
as
mean, you just have to
event.
see it as a movie and then move on. That's it. That's all we
Absolutely.
have to do. I just
And
saw a
as
joke. Yeah, I just saw a joke today morning that Aditya Dar will make a movie about the LPG crisis in like 5 years and explain everything clearly what
still,
happened.
still in there. Huh? In
Cylinder.
fact, there's a lot of jokes going around with, peak details. A
Yeah,
lot of stuff going around how the script writers and his assistants have picked up every peak detail, and there's a lot of jokes around it as well.
yeah.
To that extent that they are talking about his son's name as Duran, so that it adds up. So I mean, comedies apart, overall, I think there are a lot of other things also in the movie which could have been a lot better.
Not better.
Violence to start with, oof, it's.
Too
I mean,
much.
I'm okay with general violence. Even to me, it was a lot more.
Too
And
much. Some
the
scenes were too much.
violence in the movie is permissible as long as it adds value in every scene. There were quite a lot of scenes which are absolutely unwanted, just dragged the movie to 3 hours, 50 minutes, could have easily been a 3 hour movie. And major part of it was coming in from extended violence.
Extended violence.
Yeah, I mean, the football with the head, and
Football with the head. That
that guy
last.
did not even have a role going forward.
Yes,
If you want
exactly.
to picturize that
Exactly.
role as villain, okay, you make him play around with head and whatnot, and then make the character grow up on you. The next scene he is already arrested and gone, taken into custody. He is missing. Why would you want to create such a gory scene and that extends for a good 5 7 minutes to it? And similarly, all the fight scene, too much of drag, which can easily be reduced. It's all for, I know, the visual effects and the background music. Not really.
No,
And the one
but
other thing, I
yeah.
really am struggling to understand that lengthy piece of picturization between Arjun Rampal and his father.
Oh yeah. That even I think like the they are trying to show. I don't know what they are trying to prove here. That like, why Arjun Rapal is like this, or I don't know. I don't know why. What's the point of that was? You know?
I think they are trying to drive in some historical message saying that Arjun Rampal's father did something which never came out.
No, came
And
out.
there has been a generational difference between what the earlier one wanted to do and what this guy is doing. That never came out. As a result, almost, I think, 10, 15 minutes of the entire three, four scenes between them had just added up to this humongous long screen time.
It only like made him weak actually. It made him weak actually. If you had killed him like in the very first scene, then he'd be like a bad guy. But
I,
taking all the abuse at every time and then finally killing, yeah, that was kind of. The one thing I didn't like about this movie was there were no like memorable songs. You know, the part one had some two beautiful songs, right? The romantic song and the dance bit. This one had absolutely nothing actually, right? I can even
I
remember
agree.
one song. Oh my God, it's a great song. But the background score was awesome though. The
Absolutely.
score was awesome,
I think the
ridiculously
BGM
awesome,
was fantastic. You're
amazing.
right. The songs did not stick to
Stick to
our
yeah.
mind. But no, we will have to wait and see. It kind of works on you sometimes, that RARA or something. But then, yeah, songs did not match up to the part one level.
Part one, we had like amazing songs. You know, the caravan song, the romantic song between them, and the dance bit at the wedding. Everything became so huge and popular. I don't know like, which song from this one is going to come though. You know, so I don't know.
I'm not too sure. You're right. At least right now, offhand, I can't remember any
Me
melody
too.
or
Yeah.
anything which is coming out. Associated with that, they also tried gimmicking what Akshay Khanna did. Uh,
But
yeah,
thankfully, like, he did not do the dance.
he did not do that
He
act.
did not
Yeah,
do the
Saving
dance.
Grace, he did not
He
go
did
there.
not do that. Yeah.
But then the scene itself created a hype and wasn't necessarily clicking at that moment. So, yeah, I
I think
mean,
like that scene was there to show that how they have taken him in as part of the team, and that is why like, they are helping him at the very end. At the very end, everybody joins together, and then that was kind of a nice thing though. At the mask where they had the bomb blast and all those things, and kind of interesting to see. Yeah,
yeah, technically, again, as I said, they did build that whole thing up well. It really, how do I put it, kept us at the edge of the seat. Even though we know it was a mad stuff flying around and whatnot, it did maintain that sanctity through that. It was not like, say, a Vikram shooting. You saw that, right? The gun shooting, Kamal shooting. So at least we didn't go down that direction. I was fearing that, to be frank.
yeah. So
Senseless bullets flying. It did, but then at least in control.
in control. Yeah, it was good. I don't know if he's going to make a. So what is his next movie? Do we know? Aditya Dar's next movie? We don't know, right?
No, not
No,
at
not
announced.
yet.
But then
Okay.
this movie is going to go a long way. Look at from a for commercial perspective. Look at it. He's made a movie too long,
Too
so
long.
split it practically into two. So the cost associated is only incremental. So the cost is, I would assume, 1.25 times the normal movie making. Look at the profits. I mean,
Profits.
this is going to go a long way in
Long.
shaping of the industry.
Yeah.
So, from a commercial standpoint, it's a big breakthrough for Indian movie making.
Now, what
Yeah.
was surprising to me was a 4 hour movie on a Wednesday in the US, they had 10 shows. In the theater I went, they had 10 shows for a 4 hour movie. The
Wow.
movie Youth, the Tamil movie Youth was supposed to be releasing this week, which is a good movie too. But they had like no theater scene like in Dallas. This is crazy. I was wondering how the reason like they want like a shorter movies because like, they want to put like more shows. But even then, with this show, nobody cared. People are still going on Wednesday. The one I went at 6:30, it was almost like 90% capacity Wednesday evening.
Hmm.
So people really are
We,
expecting
we
it.
had an interesting episode. Wednesday was supposed to be the preview stuff. So I booked it for the 5 o'clock evening show. And there was some mess over here in India.
I
Some
saw that.
theaters did
I
not
saw that.
receive the
Yeah.
content and whatnot. So we managed to book another theater half an hour later. But then that night, they ran it for 24 hours. Unscheduled shows starting at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. They had to accommodate people, and it was amazing to think of people flooding the theater at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. and houseful shows.
Yeah,
You would
that is why I said with all the hype, they really met the hype, right? This movie was not like a letdown. Like in, I mean, you could say like people who don't like the politics might say it's a crap movie or whatever, but for movie going experience, it was a great thing to watch with all the actions and this and that.
absolutely. The hype generated the expectations which were lingering right from the time Dhurandhar 1 was a hit, the kind of aura which was built around the whole preview release or whatever, and the way people were booking the tickets and talking even 3 4 days prior to the
Yes,
movie. All these added up, and the movie commercially did live up to all that, and it's still. I mean, I think it's hovering around 4 figures already,
four figures. Yeah,
crossing conveniently. And so that way, again, as I said, it's doing wonders in terms of the Indian movie making industry for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, of course, people will take positions, people will have their own likes and dislikes.
yeah,
And this is not just about Aditya Dar and the movie, it is not about just the actors there, it is also about uh, parties versus parties. It is
but
also
yeah,
about propaganda. It is also about the huge polarization which is already existing in this country, right? I mean, for anything and everything. And I should say, when I continue repeating country, reactions from people living outside of India are a lot more
yes,
compared to people
yeah.
within India. So the polarization is a lot more prevalent outside as well. So it includes all parts of the world.
No, that's what I'm
And
saying, right? Like in the US on a Wednesday at 6:30, like people were shouting like Bharat Mata ki jai here. You know that. So one guy was going absolutely nuts for every scene, everything. Oh my God, Arey, Bharat, oh my God.
you could
Like,
have toned down the polarization part a little bit. I mean, getting the prime minister swearing in, getting the demonetization live coverage, and all that. What is also done is cheesed off the other parties. So probably they could have taken them also along. Visualization would have improved a little bit, but then so be it. I think there was an agenda
yeah.
clearly on that front as well.
No, but
So
that's what
now
he's saying. Yeah,
both
that's what.
sides.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, right? The previous regime, they gave the money plate to this guy to make the rupees. The new regime tried to control it. I think he's like very clear as to who to support and who
Yeah,
not
so
to
the
support.
message is very clear. He
Yeah,
is clearly indicating all those, but there is no specific proof which
proof.
comes across, and therefore this polarization, right? Whether it is the money making, whether it is the UP says we will not have our people coming up. So you are straight away saying that the people who are supposed to come up, the alternate parties are Pakistani support. Not, I mean, it doesn't add up.
Doesn't matter.
We know
Yeah,
there is a lot of enmity going on in terms of the political circles, but not to that extent. Well, what it has also done is people who are shouting against the propaganda are also going to
and
see what
watching
happens.
what. Yeah,
So commercially again,
yeah.
well, negative marketing maybe, but then it's working.
It's
Why
working.
not?
It's working.
Yeah,
Good, good. Yeah.
that's all it is.
So, yeah, I don't know which is the next major movie coming. I think the Shah Rukh Khan movie, right? The King or something. That's
Yeah,
I don't know what is
correct.
the next major movie coming, Hindi movie coming. I can't even think of anything right now. Ramayana is coming. That's a big one. It's not coming this year, right? It's coming next year. Ramayana
No,
or
I'm not
this.
too sure of the timelines.
Yeah.
I'm not keeping an eye on them, but then yeah.
So what else I mean, are you watching right now apart from movies? Are you watching any web series or
No, I am not a OTT guy, so I can't sit in front of a TV. So
okay?
primarily movies, shows, and whatnot. Of course, I watched Thai Karavi. I think I should admit I was very pleasantly surprised
Yeah, it's a good movie. I really enjoyed that movie.
with
Really
that
enjoyed.
feel good kind of.
The
Yeah, I also want to
the
watch.
thing about Thai Kalavi was like you mentioned, like she comes in the first 10 minutes, in the last 10 minutes. For all the hype, that was kind of kind of a huge letdown. But still, the movie worked though. The other characters, see, that the thing in that movie, all the other characters were amazing, right?
Absolutely, the movie was not resting on one or two
Exactly.
person,
Yeah.
right? I mean, every individual character had their screen time and effortlessly carried it through. And again, uh, it's a feel good movie.
Feel
Through
good.
the movie, you kind of are good with whatever is happening and come out with it. And I was, well, initially I was thinking the promos were telling me that, oh, Radhika is going to have
Big thing,
say,
big
and
role.
I'm not a great fan of somebody coming and talking proverbs like Karawai Party and all that. But then that didn't happen,
It
and that
didn't
was
happen.
pleasant surprise to me. But
Surprise.
then, yeah, I also want to see these youth
Youth is, I
getting
mean,
a
it's
lot
like
of.
a very, I just saw yesterday, it's a very feel good school romance. It's, I mean, okay, he's like a 24-year-old guy. He just made what he had to make. That's it. We can't go with, he's not going to make Godfather, right? So you just have to go with expectation. You're okay with it. And did you see the deleted scene from Thai Kalavi? They just released it last week. Did you see that?
Which one?
Thai Kalavi, they just released a deleted scene, which was not in
Okay.
the movie. They just released it. It was a
Hmm.
very good scene, though. I don't know why it was not a part of the movie. Sometimes we have like no idea like why they remove a scene from a movie for what reason. I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, I can send you the link to you. But it's a very good
Hmm.
scene. Very good scene would have really worked with the movie itself. I don't know why they took it out. Sometimes
I
very
don't know which
interesting.
scene you're talking about, but yeah, send me the link. It'll be
Yeah, yeah,
interesting to watch that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for this. Thank you for this. We will join soon. Okay,
Great.
keep
Good
posting
discussion.
reviews. Yeah, looking forward to like more reviews from you.
Absolutely, Sridhar, and looking forward to the next review.
Yeah, sure.
Let's keep
Awesome.
going.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Okay. Thank